I know my family can't afford to write a $10,000 check when I go. So the reason that I even have to talk about this insurance stuff is I know people can't afford to write those big $20,000 checks. So I help them write small checks so their family can get a big check. Does it kind of make sense, Christian? Yeah, I guess it does kind of make sense. So then now it's time to isolate. So let me ask you this. Everybody wants insurance, but nobody really knows what it costs. Like we don't know. It's just this number floating around. So when I was talking to you about insurance and you were thinking, man, I love my family. I know they need this. I want to get it. What number were you hoping I was going to say? Like I just told you $300 and you said you can't afford that. Yeah, man, I was hoping you said another number. What number were you kind of hoping I was going to say? Because 300 wasn't it. And they'll normally tell you. I mean, I was thinking something around whatever, no more than 200 or 100. Now I'm going to overcome. Miss Kim, I totally understand. The last thing I did was, one last thing I wanted to do was come here and talk to you about something that you can't afford. So from now on, I will not talk to you about anything that you can't afford. I'm only going to talk to you about things that you can afford. But if I find something that you can afford that won't take food off the table, but it will protect your family, can you think of any reason to leave your family unprotected if you got the power to protect them? Well, no, probably not. Okay. You were saying that you were hoping that I would say something around $30. Let me tell you this. The $30 conversation, unfortunately, we're about 30 years too late because insurance is based on how old you are and it's based on your health. So if you were 30 years old, I had some $30 things I can talk to you about. So we're going to have to bump up our budget just a little bit in order to get your family protected. But don't worry, I can help you find the money from things that are less important. So, for example, you mentioned to me that you were a smoker, or you mentioned to me earlier that you like to take vacations, or whatever it is that we talked about. What we're going to do, I'm not going to take that away from you. If you like to smoke or gamble or drink or whatever it is that we talk about, you need to keep doing that because that's probably half the reason that you're here so happy. So I'm not going to take all your beer money, but I got to get a little bit of it. I'm going to have to get a little bit of your beer money and a little bit of your fun money in order to do what you want to do for your family. But by the time we get done, don't worry, I'm really good at this. I can have people having fun lives, doing the stuff they want to do, and protecting their family. Watch me work. You ready? I'm ready, Mr. Stewart. Let's go. And then we figure out. But here's that process. Even a nice person can do that, right? Agree? Yeah, I agree. Isolate. What are we talking about? Overcome. Offer solution. That's the easiest way to close. And the video that you have on SLSU explains that in more detail. And then there's another technique called permission to fire. Permission to fire is going round and round with this client, and you're like, man, something is weird here. They're telling me they want insurance. I can't figure out what the disconnect is. So after several minutes of going back and forth, you move to permission to fire. Permission to fire sounds like this. Miss Kim, I hear you, and it seems like you really love your family and you really want to get them protected, but something is stopping you, and I think it's my fault. I'm missing something. Can I talk to you like your favorite nephew for a second? Who's your favorite nephew or your favorite family member? Bill. Can I talk to you like Bill would talk to you for just a few minutes? Once they say yes, you don't have to use all these sales techniques and closes and bear closes and reverse closes. You just talk to them like family. Okay, Miss Kim, help me understand. What's going on? You say this, not saying yes. What's in the way? What do you know that I don't know that I need to know? Because if I knew it, I could help you. What's happening? Now I'm just having a regular conversation with you. You're going to close a lot of people like that. If you can't close them with AIO or permission to fire, it probably just can't be closed that day. And so that's the person that you need to follow up with in the future. Because nobody, even old Mr. Stewart or Rory or Grant, we're none of us going to close everybody all the time. Not going to happen. But if you can get to about 50%, you'll be rich. If you learn to close about half the people you talk to, you'll have more money than a little bit. All right? That might have been more answer than you were looking for, but hopefully that helps you, and hopefully others that are listening, that helps you too. James has a comment, and then we'll move on to our next question.
Two things. One, if you want to make me co-host, we got some mute offenders. So
I sure do.
And I think Superman's driving, so I don't want him touching his phone. But just real quick, piggybacking on that, Kim, what you said, I struggled with a lot when I first started. And I think I was actually fortunate. Uh, at the time I started, the entire agency was face to face, so everybody sold in the home when I started, and I begged. I don't know if Rory remembers. I used to beg Rory, let me go on a ride along, right? Let me go ride with, back then Otto Neptune, or when Henry. Let me go ride with Henry or Jennifer or Tanya or Jason or somebody like this and see it. And he never let me because he didn't want me to have the mindset of if I was only just in front of him. But I did learn constantly going to Orlando, hearing trainings, watching Henry do his training, and some of the other leaders was they would get the same objections, but they would be able to see in the home because they used to believe everybody that couldn't afford it or I need to think about it or this. And then, I'd hear these stories like this guy's telling me this and he's got, a brand new flat screen and every channel on Dish TV and a brand new carton of cigarettes and Subways on the counter and, all this stuff. And so that helped me a lot. And then when I got into the marketing side and the lead side and when we used to do direct mail and Rory and Tammy and everybody would show the same person would mail the same lead card back every 3 months. Right? We used to mail it every 3 months. And so what Henry said there, just to reiterate that, I say this a lot, like on 5 a.m. Club and stuff like that, is you can be the 30th person to talk to Miss Jones, or you can be the last. Because they keep requesting it over and over and over because the need is there. But again, people are inherently selfish. They're going to get a negotiation and they're selfish because insurance is the one thing where I got to give $30, $80 every single month and there's zero ROI for me. The only time I get the money back is if I pass away. So I was actually talking about a little bit this morning that that's when you got to get to the emotion, right? And so when you do AIO, part of that is just reiterating, to say it bluntly, but you're reiterating, do you love your family? Because if you love your family, that's what we're talking about, and then we can get to something's better than nothing. Let's take a bite out of the apple instead of swallowing it. But it took me a really long time. I used to go to Rory all the time and talk about, man, all these people are broke. All these people, can't afford it. All these people need to think about it, this and that. And, he would just like, they're 72 and under for a reason. They've been talking about insurance since they were in their 20s. And so if you can figure out a different way to approach it and make that connection, it'll really help. And that really helped me change it from I'm trying to sell my dad, because like my dad wouldn't lie and do this and do that, to understanding our clients as a whole.
Very, very important. I mean, and just this is a sad fact. Keep in mind, but it's true. If seniors don't have any money, why do they get scammed all the time? Right? They get scammed all the time because scammers know where the money's at. They're not scamming the 30-year-old that's still paying a mortgage, paying a car note, credit card is to the hilt, and barely has any money in their savings account. They're not getting scammed. It's the senior whose house is paid off, car is paid off, and they've got $10,000, $15,000 in their savings account. The other month sitting in money in an annuity, money in their 401k. It's the senior, because seniors have more discretionary income, extra money at the end of the month that they can do whatever they want to with. They have more of that than any other demographic in the United States. So it's really a myth that, these low income seniors, they've got low income, but they have high discretionary income. Truth. Marie Odoms has a question for us. See your hand up? Changed your mind?
Did you call me?
I did.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I just want to say that this is a very rewarding opportunity, and it's a gift. And whatever you put in, you will get it back. Um, you have to be determined, and you have to set boundaries, and you just have to run the course and not get discouraged. And you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But if you keep going, you will make it. And I see great things happening for myself within this company. I do want to become a leader. I know that I have the momentum and the stamina to get there. And I'm willing to put in the work and the time and the effort. And I see as more and more I apply myself and learn my craft, I'm earning, I'm learning, I'm growing. and it is a very rewarding opportunity. And I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm all in. So I'm going to stay the course. Yes, we have distractions, but we have to prioritize. We have to put things in perspective. I am working. Why you been online all day? When I got work to do. So I'll see you when I'm done. My kids want to go to the mall. They want to do this. They want to do that. If I don't have no sales, we ain't going nowhere. If I make 3 sales today, if I make 1 sale today, we can go to the mall. If I don't have the sale, we're not going to the mall. And that's the plan of action. I set the table, so here it is. I'm here to do what I need to do to make it to the top. So I want you to keep your eye on me because I am gonna be that number one. You just wait, watch, and see. But I'm going to the top.
Marie, I believe it because when I used to get I don't get as many messages as I used to, Marie. But you always gave me messages in all caps. And I said, Marie is passionate about this topic. And I was sitting there and looking at it. I would call somebody, call Marie. But I see you putting in a lot of work, and that effort is being rewarded, and it will continue to be rewarded. And you said you want to be a leader. Leaders are followers, right? So make sure that you are following the advice and guidance of your upline and your mentors. Because even you might say, well, that's easy for you to say, Henry, because you're a leader. But I started out as a follower. When I didn't walk into the agency as the leader of sales. I walked in as a learner of the process. And I consider myself to be a pretty good follower. I don't think I gave Roy a hard time, but listen to it. I didn't buck the system. I used the system, but I didn't buck the system, took advantage of it, and was able to make incremental progress. And here I am. So all the leaders are good followers. And Rory started out as a good follower because he came in and his mentor, he's like, hey, what do I need to do to be successful? And the guy's like, do this. And he did it. Rory actually broke a phone he dialed so much back in the day. Back in the day, he used to do the phone like a rope, the little rotator, rotary. He broke the thing off of there, so he had to get him another phone. It was like a 911 situation. Rory's phone was broken. But that's because guys had dialed a million times, and he literally did it. So good leaders start out as good followers. The next
Henry, if I could just make a comment there. I remember that very clearly when I was 22. I said, I'm going to listen to everything this guy tells me to do. Everything. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it more. And if I don't make it, I'm going to blame it on him. And I say that to everybody on this call. Just listen to everything that we suggest that you do. And actually, we do that in the letter, Henry, in the LOC letter. So just do what we say, we suggest that you do. And if you don't make it, you can 100% blame it on me, that's for sure. But you will.
And that's the key. You heard it from the man himself. The next hand I remember seeing was Laura. If I get your name wrong, then correct me. But I think I'm looking at Herzendorfer.
That's perfect.
Oh, I see. Every time I see a long name, I remember my second grade English teacher, Miss Cameron. Sound it out, just like John Goodberry or Harvard Smith.
That's perfect. Interestingly enough, most people think they can't say it correctly. And I was like, go ahead and try. And a lot of times, they did it. Because you were perfect this morning. Exactly. So my question is this, and thank you for having this. You guys are very inspiring with your enthusiasm and your zest for giving people what they need. So how do you balance all the time we need to spend, want to spend on the phone talking to other people with your life? This kid has to go to the doctor. You want to go to school for this play in the afternoon. But that takes time away from the focus on what we're doing. So how do you balance that?
Great question, and a question that I've had to face over the years, and it's 2 steps to it. So the first is prioritizing.
Mm-hmm.
So number one, you've got to look at all the things that you want to do from a family standpoint. I heard you mention, for example, going to the school play and things of that nature. So all the things you want to do, I want you to put them in order from most important to least important.
Hmm.
After you put those things in order of most important to least important, find out, are there any of those things you can do more efficiently? For example, is there something available on Zoom? Maybe. And I'm making up stuff because I don't know exactly what's certain.
Right.
Maybe somebody said, well, your niece is doing this play over in so-and-so place. It's an hour away. You know, man, hour there, hour for the program, hour back. I just lost 3 hours. Is that thing that I'm doing, is it available on Zoom? Is it simulcast? Is it some other way I can consume that? Or is it something I gotta physically be there for? Okay, if it's something I have to physically be there for and it's important, which things like that do happen, now you owe yourself some time. So if you gotta grab, I'll give you an example. You know, how old are your kids? I heard you mention kids. How old are your kids? What range?
I don't have kids. I was just using that as an example.
Okay,
But
well,
I do have, like, I have a 91-year-old friend that I have to take to an appointment next week. I've been knowing that she lives about an hour away from me, so that's good timing. And then I'll take her to the doctor, and I don't know how long that'll take. Maybe 45 minutes by the time she gets there and gets taken care of. And then I'll take her back and have to come back home. So that's probably 4 hours out of my day.
let me ask you a really crazy question. It's gonna sound so insensitive, so just forgive me. But I gotta ask you because it's gonna help you and probably help her too. Ready?
Okay? Huh?
If you got abducted by aliens, who would take her to the doctor?
She wouldn't go.
You would go? Well, usually there's somebody somewhere in their circle or a government program or a county program or something. Usually you go looking for it. Because I've been in this situation before. If there's a friend who, needs assistance, just the way our government is set up, they normally won't let a person just sit in their house and go away. But even if you can't get it done for free, there's typically somebody that will do it for money. So that's the next step. So when I was prioritizing stuff back in the day, I used to look at, all right, here's the thing that's important. Is there some other way I can do this without missing work? If not, can I pay somebody else to do it? So for example, driving somebody from place, I might get $10 an hour job or a Uber ride or whatever. So I would look at it and I'm like, man, if I lose 4 hours, I'm losing hundreds of dollars. Could I send an Uber over there or a taxi or somebody and pay less for that thing to happen and then be able to continue to make money? But then sometimes category 1, category 2 doesn't work. So it's a priority. I can't find any other way to do it right now. I can't find any other person to do it than me. So those things that just had to get done, I'm the only one that can do it. I knew I owed myself that time. So if there was a 4-hour block of stuff that I just couldn't get around it, I couldn't not do it, I couldn't pay somebody to do it, I owed myself 4 hours that week. So that meant at 7 o'clock at night, for instance, if I wanted to hang up the phone because I was really tired and I had a rough day, I couldn't because I owed myself those 4 hours. So this night, I got to sit until 11 p.m. on the phones. Or I got to add an extra hour to my night each week. Or I got to work Saturdays till 4 p.m. I don't want to, but I got to work Saturdays till 4 p.m. because I owe myself those 4 hours, right? And what it made me do, when I started having to do things at times I didn't really want to do it, it made me go back and figure out what was really that important. Like now that I'm working at 14, because I owe myself 4 hours. That thing I did 4 hours during the week was really that important. And when I got more focused on it, I also found other ways to get rid of that 4 hours because I didn't want to have to pay myself the tab on the week. Does that make sense?
Yes, perfect sense. Perfect sense.
And so this is kind of the rule for everybody: family, husband, wife, whatever you got going on. Put it in order. What's really important? Most important down to least important. Once you identify that, what things can I consume some other kind of way? You know, it's really important for me to do this, but can I Zoom it? Can I watch a recording of it? Can I do it at night? Can't do that. Can I pay somebody else to do it? and I'm losing a bunch of time setting my grass. Can I pay my bills good? All right, now there's this category. I can't do it another way. I can't pay somebody to do it. I gotta do it. Maybe something that might fall into that category is, hey, I gotta pick my kids up from school, right? Because they go to a school outside of the district. I can't put them on the bus. I gotta pick them up. I gotta bring them home. I gotta make them peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I gotta talk to them, make sure they're not getting bullied. I gotta help them with their homework. I got to be a parent. I cannot get around this 3-hour block from 3 to 6 when the kids get home. No way. I get it. I'm a parent too. But you owe yourself 3 hours. So when you put them to bed early, like you should, especially in your early formative years of building your business, and a kid never gets hurt from more sleep. More sleep never hurt any child in the earth. So you put them to bed a little earlier, and then you go back to work, you owe yourself that 3 hours. And that's how you balance things. All right? And if you have more,
Thank you so much.
you're very welcome. If you have more questions on that, talk to your builder. They know all about it. I think the next hand I saw was Daphne Goodyear. So Daphne, who is yours?
Oh, Henry, I just get such a kick out of your rebuttals to people. I wish I had that instant karma with people to be able to say the kind of things you do. It's obvious why you're so successful at this. But I had a situation yesterday, was the first time this happened to me. I was down to getting the banking information, and I'd been on the phone for a half hour or so with this guy, and all of a sudden he said, "Are you a scam?" And I was like, I was really taken back because we'd had such a really cordial conversation and everything had gone very smoothly. What in the, I was like, I didn't even know what to say, except, we're not, but I felt like my answer was so weak. What would you have said?
Well, I'm kind of silly, Daphne. So I'll tell you how I would handle that. I said, Miss Daphne, if I was a scam, would I tell you?
If I say that again?
I said, Miss Daphne, you're the client. Well, Miss Daphne, if I was a scam, would I tell you?
Oh, that is a great answer, Henry.
And then they would laugh. And then after they would laugh, I would say, Miss Daphne, I am not a scam, and I appreciate you asking the question. Because you need to ask questions like that. As a matter of fact, there's going to be other people that call you besides me that you should not give this information to. The reason that you can kind of trust me a little bit, though, is that scammers don't take this much time finding out what you need. For example, and by the way, this is one of the reasons that it's a bad idea to go in for the kill too fast with insurance because you haven't built rapport. But if you have gone through the needs analysis and the policy review and all this other kind of stuff, you can share with the client. Mr. So the reason that scammers are scammers is that they're lazy. Would you agree with that? Because if scammers weren't lazy, they'd go get a real job, right? Well, you're probably right. So I'd be a pretty bad scammer if I spent this much time with the people that I'm scamming. I don't scam people. I take the time to explain what you need, understand your policy, understand the program, understand your medications to make sure that you're getting something that's a really good fit. So I'm not a scammer, and I'll be able to prove that to you very, very shortly, because what we're putting together is something that you're going to receive in black and white. You're going to receive a copy of your policy, and it's going to say everything that I'm telling you that it says, and I'm even going to call you back and go back over it with you. So it's hard for you to believe anybody. Have you ever been affected by a scammer before? Yeah, they'll tell you the whole story of how they got scammed. Well, one of the things that you'll appreciate with me is that I'm going to connect your bank and the insurance company, because they're the billionaires in the room, right? I'm going to connect your bank and your insurance company, and I'm going to set it up so they talk to each other. Do you trust your bank? Yeah, I trust your bank. Okay, good. Well, then your bank's going to be directly communicating with the insurance company, and I'm going to show you how that all works. So bear with me. We'll get to that in just a minute. But let me ask you a few more questions to make sure I get you in the right place at the right time. And then back to your questions.
Oh, that's great, Henry. Thank you. Well, the guy did end up giving me his banking information, and I did close him, but I felt like I stuttered and stammered over the scam thing.
Yeah, well, we're all going to stutter and stammer the first time we hear some stuff. You know, I stuttered the first time somebody told me I'm going to donate my body to client. That got me. How did that even work? So I had to go do some research on it. But once I knew how it worked, I was ready for it the next time around. So Good job. Good job getting that sale yesterday.
Thank you.
All right. No race.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have something a little fun and then something a little serious.
Okay.
So for the fun part, let's see. Well, first of all, I started off in the Ferguson region. Tanya was amazing. Superman over there, amazing. Now I'm in the Iron region. Jennifer's amazing. Tina's amazing. I've never been anywhere where people were so invested in my success. Almost more than me sometimes. I'm like, dang. Sometimes I'm dialing and working and somebody come into my call, Tina or Jennifer, and just for some encouragement or with some coaching or whatever. And I've had pretty good conversations with all of the executive team. You, Mr. Henry, Roy, James, Grant, G Money. What up, G Money? And everybody's been so good to me. So I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. Just hit my 2-year mark. And I do know, so that's the good part. I'm in my 2-year mark, and I want to add Power Hour to every region. So 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. we lock in, phones down, no talking to nobody, 3 to 4 every day, and then 8 to 9 every day for the people who only had East Coast states. 8 to 9, that last hour, lock in more than ever. So can we officially add Power Hour is my first part. The second part is we have life insurance agents have a 90% failure rate within the first year. So 90% of agents don't make it to year 1 or to year 2. And we have a lot of new faces here, so I was wondering if you could speak to what it takes to make it past that first year if 90% of people just quit. And I have a lot of buddies that I started with that aren't here anymore. So I'm like, hey, we used to be on, be on the phone till 11:55 every night on Zoom, and now those people are in some corporate job or I don't know what they're doing, but they didn't make it. So I just wanted you to speak to that, please. No breaks.
Mental toughness. Mental toughness. The number one thing, see, most people, forget insurance. Just in life, most people are not mentally tough. Because if they don't, see, many of us have lost, we've lost that guidance that we used to receive back when we were kids of having to do things we didn't want to do. That's a very valuable lesson that my generation was taught that, the generation before me was taught that, but the generation after me, if you pay attention to how people have been parented, kind of the closer we get, kids don't have to do things they don't want to do. Have you noticed that? Like I grew up in the, get up from the table till you finish the plate generation. Anybody grow up in that generation? All right.
Big facts. That broccoli stay on there till the next morning.
Exactly. You're waiting on you for breakfast. And then I learned like, well, I might as well eat it at least while it's hot, because they're gonna wake me up and make me eat it anyway. I gotta do something I don't want to do. But as I observed, generations after me were raised in the, oh, you don't want that? We'll get you something else generation. Just throw that out. We'll start all over. Oh, you don't want it? I'll take you to McDonald's. That's a bad lesson. I'm not a cool parent. I understand that there's some times that you've been with your kids and this and that, but I taught them that lesson too. You don't do what you want to do, you do what you have to do. And so if you don't have that instilled in you, it's something that you got to gain later in life, particularly if you're going to be successful at anything, but definitely sales. Because you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to get on the phone. Oh, this is monotonous. I gotta hit the phone again. A person might be mean to me. I might not get a sale. Man, I don't want to do this. So maybe I'll just sit and wait for a live transfer. I think that's a better read. Or maybe I'll just call North Dakota, because I think that's a great state. We're trying to find, how can I get what I want, only doing the things I want to do. And it's never going to happen. You will never get what you want, only doing the things you want to do. Anything you're going to be successful at in life, including XLS, you're going to have to go through things that you don't want to do. But the fact of the matter is, it's 10% of people that have that kind of mental toughness. That's why the failure rate is 90%. Does that make sense? So if you want to become a part of the 10%, do what you need to do what you have to do, do what you're told to do. What you want to do is last on that list. Now, eventually, though, when you see the success of doing the things you don't want to do, but you see how doing what you need to do gets you the things you want to have, then you'll start to want to do the things you didn't want to do. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to make calls. I don't. But then, by doing the things that others don't, you get the things that others won't. Now that you are achieving your goals, you cultivate an appetite. You cultivate a desire to want to do the things you didn't used to want to do. You start to want to do the things you need to do, and that's when your life takes off. So there's a much more expanded explanation of that, and we can give at another time, but that's a bite-sized piece to help you understand it. Don't worry about it. I don't care what you want to do. It doesn't matter. The things that make people successful, nobody wants to do. That's why so few people are successful. But cultivate an appetite to want to do the things you need to do, and nothing will stop you in life, including selling insurance. Corlette McNeil. Good morning.
Sorry. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Sure can. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I do appreciate all of you. Thank you so much, Mr. Rory and Mr. Henry Stewart. I do appreciate all of you. I'm new, as most of you probably can see. You haven't really seen my name here a lot. And I just received my first writing number this morning, so I'm on my journey to success. I'm still kind of trying to get the kinks out. I know this is probably not the time or the place to just at least asking the question, so at least you can guide me where I need to go, because it's very important that I follow the steps that I need to in order to be successful here. So with that being said, I need to know who do I need to speak to or contact to get the 7 a.m. link, or maybe it's posted in GroupMe. Then I need the 2 p.m. link. These are, and of course I'm on the 8 a.m. link now, but I need the 7 a.m. and the 2 p.m. link just so I can get on those calls and find out what's going on and get fed and what I need to learn. So, and also, I just wanted to go briefly over outbound, but I don't know if this is the time and place either. So I'm sorry, I just have a lot, but I'm right now just looking for guidance. That's all.
There's no bad time for a question. While you were talking, I heard you must be on Justin Valmeigen's team. Have you heard that name?
Oh, yes.
So I saw him talking to you through the chat. So he said that Beth, you're not quite ready to jump on the phone yet, but I can tell you this: while you're waiting, you can always go to SLSU to watch those videos over and over again to help you get some additional understanding. And it looks like Justin is giving you some direct guidance. Go over to that chat, and he's pointing to you. Do you know how to get to the chat in Zoom?
Yes, it says at the bottom chat.
Yeah, go hit that chat, and you'll see Justin Valmeigen talking straight to you, giving you some guidance where you need to go.
Okay, I'm looking at chat, but I don't see his name coming up. I just see everyone. I see your name. I don't see his name at all.
So it says right now he just put Justin Valmeigen to everyone. He just put that in the chat. It's one of the last messages. Scroll down.
Oh, okay. Let me scroll it down.
All right.
Oh, I see. He said, "Hey, Colette." Okay.
He got
I said Beth can help you. Okay, I'll just reach out to Beth. Okay. All right.
But I'm glad you asked. John Dixon. There you go. Don't stop for silence. John Dixon. I missed your name earlier.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure can. Good morning.
Okay. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys. You are very inspiring to us. We appreciate everything. How do I FISAP-proof my sale? I've been getting a lot of banking pushbacks or insufficient funds from accounts that I sold a couple of months ago. How do you keep that from happening?
So you can never get away from it completely, right? But I can tell you how to largely eliminate it. Whose team are you on, John?
I'm on Josh's team.
Which Josh?
Crib.
Okay. So I want you to talk to Josh Crib about this. But it's very important at the end of your sale um, within the PEC or within whatever method you're using, there's something called seal the deal. Have you ever seen that? Seal the deal?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Do you follow it?
I haven't. No,
Tell the truth and the devil.
no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Start doing that.
Okay.
Right? Because that's really where you're five-step proving it. Do you understand the bank and the banking information? You ask them 2 or 3 times for the number and the beneficiary.
Well, no. These are accounts that have paid, and the money. This is like 4, 5, 6 payments in. Then all of a sudden, it's insufficient funds.
Understood. But see that the seal the deal is also covering that because you're collecting all the information to make sure you don't have problems on the front end, right? But then it also goes to the back end as well, so it starts to talk about, can you keep this policy?
Okay.
So if you go back and look at seal the deal, because it starts to talk about, hey, based on this payment, is it right to the threshold of what you can handle? And so it allows you to adjust more of that on the front. Now you're still going to have some people that lose their job or the circumstances change or their rent goes up. And they're like, I don't think I can afford my insurance anymore. And you need to call those people back to see if you can write them something a little bit lower. Right? So there's always going to be some communication required with the client. But still the deal is going to reduce what you're running into because you're dealing with that on the front.
And then one more quick thing. So oftentimes when that happens, I'll reach out and call them back and try to follow up. And a lot of times the numbers don't work anymore. The phone numbers are disconnected or whatever. So I mean, it's frustrating to try to recover it, and there's no way to recover it because it's like they built in the dodge mechanism. So since they decided not to pay, well, I definitely don't want them to call me back. So try to figure out how to overcome that.
When their phone is turned off, that could be a sign that things out a little bit worse. But I know back in the day, I used to collect a lot of referrals every time I did a sale, and I would also collect the telephone number of those referrals, which used to give me the power to call their cousin or mother or brother who usually didn't have their phone disconnected and say, hey, I'm trying to reach your aunt. Here's the number I have. Have they updated their number? So that was another way that I used to. There's methods to the madness throughout the entire system. And so sometimes you skip over stuff and you don't realize you need it till you need it. But that's one of the referrals with telephone numbers. And also you can research people now with like findtelephonenumber.com and stuff like that and get some of these new numbers. So you probably know that.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So it is 9:01. I know you all are eager to ask some of these questions. If you did not get your question answered, you can text me at 404-372-7765. And then you just put up usphonebook.com as an example of one of those places. You can locate some of your clients. We have an announcement from James Whitley before we leave. And then we're going to jump right on these phones. We're going to see if we can get a record amount of people to go straight from this call to the regional calls. But let's not leave without hearing from James Whitley. James, George.
Hey, Senator, good morning. Just you and I briefly talked about this, but I think an extra incentive to get everybody the phones is with President's Challenge in full swing. We've been trying to do a little extra motivation, and we did some extra incentives with our marketing partners in the live transfer arena, and so you will see when you log into SLS Connects that perhaps this week there will be some extra incentive for live transfers coming through. Rory, we promise it'll pay off in AP. So you're going to see some additional live transfers. And you're actually going to see, if Tanya's able to do it, share a screen, you're going to see a way, because obviously we still have it set up where it auto answers, but you're going to see a way where you see on the bottom right hand of her screen, because we'll actually have some queued up in a queue for this week, potentially only. You see the ability, it might be small if you're on your phone, but there's a little button where it shows the call coming in, and then there's a button that says take call.
Where is that?
So it looks like Tanya Carlson is sharing her screen right now, and it looks like her cursor is in the bottom right. Well, it was the bottom right.
She's zooming in. Here we go.
All right, and in that bottom right-hand corner is what James was talking about. So James, would that be flashing or what happens? If I want to take, if I see that call, I want to take it. I just press it.
You just press it.
I've been using it too. Thank you.
So you're going to see that. You're going to see that in there as a reminder, and Henry may piggyback on this, but SLS Connect tracks all this really well. So this does not give anybody permission to sit there and just stare at the little bottom right-hand corner of your screen and just start nodding off and falling asleep, and all of a sudden you see it pop up and you click take call and then you wake back up. You still got to work the system, work the leads, do all this. This is supposed to be in addition to an extra incentive as we try and have a record week here. From that standpoint, and for those that are in the chat are raising their hand saying, but what about me? I'm not in live transfers. Get with your coach, get with your upline, and they will help steer you how you can qualify to earn your way into live transfers. And the faster you do it, the faster you'll be able to enjoy that. Henry may have a follow-up to that as well.
Thank you very much, James. So, little special treat here. So, if you were not qualified for live transfers yet, then you don't get qualified immediately today, because to get into live transfers before you're ready for live transfers, it actually works against, right? So, when it's time for live transfers, you definitely will get access to them. But if you already have access to live transfers and you are and you see that take call option for this week, it'll give you a chance to click on it, grab some calls. To James's point, use it but don't abuse it. Or if you do abuse it, have fun for a couple hours if you do it. Because once you catch it, you're going to be on a live transfer program. So the best way to do it is to make outbound calls. You're still in rotation for live transfers. But if you're in between calls, take calls there, boom, hit it. It'll give you a chance to get access to some additional calls. A question for Tiny first, and I'm assuming?
Yeah, just a quick question. I saw one that said live transfer and the other one that said agent direct. Is that agent direct like a phone call that's coming to that actual agent? Like their client is calling them?
Yes, if they see the word agent direct, that means a customer is calling the agent's direct line.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
When they click on take call, the lead should already be there and the lead will, populate on the screen. So someone's returning the agent's direct.
Someone's returning that call. Perfect. Thank you so much.
And now if they see the word CID and then return,
okay,
someone's calling back in on one of our outbound lines.
Okay. So not directly, like could be reaching them, could just be calling back the number for somebody else.
Right. It's an outbound line that was used. Someone used their caller ID and hit call, and then there's no ownership on that lead. We don't know what agent had recently called and hung up and maybe didn't leave a voicemail with their direct line. So their client's curious, hitting redial, and the lead's available for anyone in that state that answers it.
Okay, perfect. So they should be looking out for that phone number if they're waiting back on a phone call from somebody. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, guys.
I don't know if anybody remembers the game Hungry Hippos where the marbles went in the middle. Everybody's doing that. Don't go Hungry Hippo on these live transfers because you will get put out. But take advantage of it. Have fun. So you're making phone calls. You're doing your thing, outbound calls. Your eye peeks down. You see, ooh, take call. Go right there and grab it. Grab it as fast as you can because other people are going to be grabbing for it. But don't just sit there waiting for that button to go because it's going to get noticed. I promise you. You might get away with it for an hour. You're like, they don't see me. I'm going to see you. And then when I see you, that button's going to get turned off. So why stress each other out? I don't want to be stressed out. You don't want to be stressed out. Just use the take call button responsibly. But that's a little fun fact for this morning. So Steve, if you have not come to hang out at the fireside chat, all the information you would have missed, the closing technique, and a little gem at the end of the meeting that you can go in there and grab some extra live transfers if you already qualify. So it is now 9:08. And that means that I have stolen 7 minutes of your life that you could use to make some sales. I will return it to you right now, though, because we're going to say no excuses, only results count. And we're jumping straight from this fireside chat over to the VCC in 5, 4, 3.